are in our midst, and I extend a cordial welcome to all of them. Chief Secretary, Government of Gujarat, and his entire team of officers, Sri Kailash Nathan, Chief Principal Secretary to Chief Minister, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Gupta, Additional Chief Secretary, and collectors of Vadodara and Narmada of State of Gujarat have graced this program by their august presence. I extend a hearty and cordial welcome to all. The print and electronic media are present in large number, and I extend a cordial welcome to all of them. I extend a cordial welcome to one and all. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir, for your welcome address. 140 करोड़ नागरिक, 28 राज्य, 8 संघ प्रदेश और एक संविधान, यही है हमारे देश की न्याय प्रणाली की पहचान। देश के नागरिकों की न्याय व कानून के प्रति श्रद्धा बनी रहे, इस प्रकार से व्यवस्थापन करने में देश का विधि और न्याय मंत्रालय अहम भूमिका अदा कर रहा है। We now invite Mr. Kiran Rijiju, Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Government of India, for his address. Please, sir.
Honorable President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovind ji, Honorable Governor of Gujarat, Acharya Devvrat ji, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Mr. N.V. Ramana ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, Bhupendra Bhai Patel ji, Honorable Justice Nageswar Rao ji, Honorable Justice Abdul Nazir ji, Honorable Justice M.R. Shah ji, Honorable Justice Vikram Nath ji, Honorable Justice Bela Trivedi ji, Honorable Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court Arvind Kumar ji, all the Honorable Chief Justice of different High Courts, Honorable Judges of Gujarat High Court and Acting Chief Justices, and all the invited guests. First of all, I am extremely grateful that I'm invited here on this very, very important conference in a very historic location. Whenever I'm here, I feel so much energized because this is the location of the Statue of Unity. And while this Statue of Unity was conceived by Honorable Prime Minister, he was then the Chief Minister of Gujarat. He had sought contributions from every part of the country. So the metal scraps and part of those different tools from my village, from the villages in the border areas, every part of the country are part of this great Statue of Unity. So whenever I'm here, I feel proud and privileged. Thank you to the Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Arvind ji, his team, and Honorable Governor and the Chief Minister of Gujarat for extending support in organizing this event. We all know the contribution of Sardar Patel. He is the force behind making a united India what we see today. And I'm sure after 2 days of conference, we will be more confident and unitedly work to provide justice to the people of this country. We all know the very core of the rule of law and civilized society is the provision of equitable and timely justice, that the preamble where the soul of the Constitution lives starts and list of rights with the word justice. It shows how much importance the framers of the Constitution assigned to justice delivery system to our citizens. Our government, headed by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, is committed to speedy justice delivery system. And we all know how much our judges are working on that. With huge numbers of pending cases before various courts, from the lowest court to the Supreme Court, it is urgently felt by everyone that we have to look towards the path of alternative dispute resolution. And on that regard, the topic chosen for this important conference is very, very timely and apt. And also the information technology, which is soul of working in every sphere of life. We really need to dwell at length on the use of information technology in justice delivery system. I will not take much time, but to assure that our government is giving full attention on both these subjects. I'm also happy to inform this August gathering that the mediation bill, which is being introduced in the parliament, is taking a very good shape. We have consulted all the stakeholders. In fact, we got some very useful inputs from the honorable judges of the Supreme Court and some of the retired judges of the Supreme Court as well as the high courts. We consulted with some of the legal firms also, and right now the bill is being referred to the Parliamentary Standing Committee of Law and Justice. And some of the members, I have informally talked to them to deliberate in depth on the provisions of the mediation bill. And I'm sure once the bill comes back to the Parliament, comes back to the government, we will push it through with all necessary inputs as well as necessary amendment, if at all it is necessary, and make it very, very comprehensive. I don't want to talk into details the provisions of the mediation bill, but I can assure you this piece of legislation can bring a transformational change in the justice delivery system in our country. We all know mediation has been part of our tradition, our culture. It was there in Ramayana days, in Mahabharata days, and it is practiced widely today, even in small talukas, villages, in every sphere of life. And we want to ensure that people should not wait for informal litigation to get justice. Let us explore other means to provide justice, a quick justice to the needy people. I have mentioned in the past also, when people have to wait for formalities, for getting audience with the lawyers, to get dates in the court, the dates, the delay, it is something which is talk of all the places in our country. As a law and justice minister, I also get lots of representations from every part of the country, from every section of the society. And I also feel that the system which is going on is going to burden us more and more unless we reform ourselves internally, and also to provide more inputs, more suggestions, and to ensure that necessary reforms are taken up. Today, in the presence of our Honorable Rashtrapati ji, I'm sure he will throw light, he'll give his words of wisdom to all of us, and we will definitely ensure that the outcome of this conference also will be implemented in letter and spirit. I would like to request the Honorable Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court to send me immediately the copy of whatever is the outcome of this conference, so that I can also look into all the important things which are being part of the discussion. Information technology, as I had mentioned earlier, we cannot live without information technology. And my Department of Justice is working very closely with the E-Committee, which is headed by Justice Chandrachud. And he also has told me that the kind of support and the kind of the cooperation we receive from my department as well as from various state governments, it is commendable. मैं आज माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय के सामने मैं ये आश्वासन करना चाहता हूं कि मेरे विभाग की ओर से मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट्स और लोअर जुडिशरी में भी जहां तक सरकार के तरफ से मदद संभावना हो सकता है और एक साथ काम करके हम जरूर न्याय को लोगों के द्वार तक ले जाने में जो हमारे एक लक्ष्य रहा है वो पूरा करने में कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ेगा। हम चाहते हैं कि हम एक साथ काम करें। मैं कई जगह कह चुका हूं, चाहे जुडिशरी हो चाहे एग्जीक्यूटिव हो, चाहे वो हम लेजिस्लेचर के मेंबर हो, हम अलग अलग ऑर्गन्स हैं लेकिन हमको एकजुट होकर के काम करना होगा। हमारा बीच में कोई दीवार या कोई पर्दा नहीं होना चाहिए। जब जजेस कोर्ट में बैठते हैं तो अपने इंडिपेंडेंटली काम करते हैं और हम जब पार्लियामेंट में बैठते हैं तो हम कानून बनाते हैं और एज ए पार्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, मंत्री होने के नाते, एग्जीक्यूटिव का हिस्सा होने के नाते हम पूरा इंप्लीमेंटेशन में प्रतिबद्ध है। लेकिन हम अगर अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में काम करेंगे, जुडिशियरी और एग्जीक्यूटिव में अगर तालमेल कमी होगी तो इंप्लीमेंटेशन में भी बहुत दिक्कतें आएंगे। चाहे कोर्ट रूम से हम जस्टिस दे या किसी के गांव में किसी के घर के सामने जाके हम जस्टिस दे, मुद्दा एक ही है, न्याय मिलना चाहिए लोगों को। इसलिए मैं ये मानता हूं कि टीम वर्क हमारा बीच में होना चाहिए। मैं रमन्ना साहब का, हमारा ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस के बारे में कहना चाहता हूं, जब से मैंने इस पद में आए हैं उनके साथ इतना अच्छा तालमेल है और सारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस के साथ जब भी मैं मिलता हूं किसी न किसी विषय पे हम चर्चा करते हैं और हाई कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस और वहां के जो जजेस हैं उनसे जब भी मुलाकात करते हैं तो अच्छा बहुत अच्छा सुझाव भी मिलता है और मुझे आइडिया भी मिलता है और फिर एक न्यूनतम किस स्तर से हमको आगे ऊपर ले जाना है, एक बेस वर्क काम करने का मौका मिलता है। तो मैं आज इस बहुत ही शुभ अवसर पर और बहुत ही पवित्र स्थान पर फिर से भारत सरकार की ओर से मैं आश्वासन देना चाहता हूं, हमारे जुडिशरी की ओर से जो भी एक्सपेक्टेशन है भारत सरकार की ओर से पूरा योगदान और समर्थन मिलेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Thank you very much, Shri Rijuju, for these positive and energetic words and the pride that you've shown to be for being here at this place. Thank you again. अब हमारे समक्ष मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगा गुजरात के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल जी को, जिनके नेतृत्व में आज गुजरात और आगे बढ़कर विकास की नई ऊंचाइयों को निश्चित रूप से छू रहा है। माननीय श्री भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल जी।
નેશનલ કોન્ફરન્સ ઓન મેડિયેશન એન્ડ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીના ઉદ્ઘાટન અવસરે મારી સાથે મંચ ઉપર ઉપસ્થિત માન્ય રાષ્ટ્રપતિ શ્રી રામનાથ કોવિંદજી, ગુજરાતના રાજ્યપાલ શ્રી આચાર્ય દેવવ્રતજી, માન્ય ચીફ જસ્ટિસ સુપ્રીમ કોર્ટ શ્રી એન.વી. રમનજી, માન્ય કેન્દ્રીય મંત્રી શ્રી કિરણ રિજ્જુજી, માન્ય જસ્ટિસ શ્રી એલ. નાગેશ્વર રાવજી, मान्य जस्टिस श्री एस. अब्दुल नजीर जी, मान्य जस्टिस श्री M.R. शाह जी, मान्य जस्टिस श्री विक्रमनाथ जी, मान्य जस्टिस श्री बेलाबेन त्रिवेदी जी, मान्य चीफ जस्टिस गुजरात हाई कोर्ट श्री अरविंद कुमार जी, मारा साथी गुजरातना कायदा मंत्री श्री राजेंद्र त्रिवेदी जी, અહીં ઉપસ્થિત સૌ માન્ય ચીફ જસ્ટિસશ્રીઓ અને કાયદા ક્ષેત્રના સૌ તજજ્ઞો, સૌને મારા નમસ્કાર. સૌ પ્રથમ તો મહાત્મા ગાંધી, સરદાર વલ્લભભાઈ પટેલ, મોરારજીભાઈ દેસાઈ અને વિશ્વના નેતા પ્રધાનમંત્રી નરેન્દ્રભાઈ ભૂમિ ગુજરાતમાં આપ સૌનું સ્વાગત છે. ભારતની એકતા અખંડિતતાના પ્રતીક અને એક ભારત શ્રેષ્ઠ ભારતના પ્રેરણા સ્ત્રોત લોહ પુરુષ સરદાર વલ્લભભાઈ પટેલની વિશ્વની સૌથી ઊંચી પ્રતિમા સ્ટેચ્યુ ઓફ યુનિટીનું નિર્માણ પ્રધાનમંત્રી શ્રી નરેન્દ્રભાઈ મોદીજીના માર્ગદર્શનમાં થયું છે. વૈશ્વિક પર્યટન સ્થળ તરીકે કેવડિયાના વિકાસ પાછળ વડાપ્રધાન શ્રી નરેન્દ્રભાઈનું એ પ્રેરણાબળ રહેલું છે. સરદાર સાહેબના સાનિધ્યમાં આપણે સૌ બેઠા છીએ ત્યારે મને લાગે છે કે નેશનલ કોન્ફરન્સ ઓન મીડિયેશન એન્ડ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીની આ પરિષદ માટે સ્ટેચ્યુ ઓફ યુનિટી પરિસરથી વધુ ઉત્તમ અને ઉપયુક્ત સ્થાન કોઈ હોઈ ન શકે. 1947માં બ્રિટિશરોની ગુલામીમાંથી આઝાદી મેળવીને સ્વતંત્ર ભારતનો વિશ્વના નકશે ઉદય થયો. આઝાદી પહેલા આપણે દેશ 562 જેટલા નાના મોટા રજવાડાઓમાં વહેંચાયેલો હતો. સ્વતંત્રતા મળ્યા પછી એ રાજા રજવાડાઓનું ભારત રાષ્ટ્રમાં વિલીનીકરણ કરવામાં એ સમયે સરદાર વલ્લભભાઈ પટેલે મીડિયેશન મધ્યસ્થીકરણની આગવી મિસાલ પ્રસ્થાપિત કરી હતી. આપણી સનાતન સંસ્કૃતિમાં પણ સદીઓથી આવી મધ્યસ્થીકરણની પરંપરા અસ્તિત્વમાં હતી. મહાભારતના યુદ્ધ પહેલા ભગવાન શ્રી કૃષ્ણએ પણ એક તટસ્થ મધ્યસ્થીની બનીને યુદ્ધ ન થાય તેના માટેનો પ્રયત્ન કર્યા હતા. આ પરંપરા હાલની ન્યાય પ્રણાલિકામાં સુસંગત છે. મીડિયેશન દ્વારા પક્ષકારો પોતાના વિવાદને અલગ અલગ દ્રષ્ટિકોણથી જાણી સમજી મીડિયેશનની મદદથી તેને માન્ય હોય તેવું સમાધાન અપનાવે છે. આ પદ્ધતિમાં વિવાદોનું સત્વરે પક્ષકારો દ્વારા નિરાકરણ થાય તે માટે મીડિયેટર મદદરૂપ થાય છે, જેના કારણે પક્ષકારો વચ્ચેના વિવાદનું નિરાકરણ લાવી કોર્ટ કેસનો અંત આવે છે. કોર્ટ પરનું ભારણ ઓછું થાય છે. મને એ જણાવતા આનંદ થાય છે કે ગુજરાતના લગભગ દરેક જિલ્લામાં મીડિયેશન સેન્ટર કાર્યરત છે. વસુદેવ કુટુંબની પરિવાર ભાવનાને યથાવત જાળવી રાખીને પારિવારિક વિવાદોનું નિવારણ કોર્ટ કચેરીની બહાર સામાજિક, ધાર્મિક, પ્રતિષ્ઠિત વ્યક્તિઓની દરમિયાનગીરીથી સમાધાન માટે ફેમિલી ફર્સ્ટ સમજાવટનું સરનામું કન્સેપ્ટ અપનાવ્યો છે. આ હેતુસર જિલ્લા અને તાલુકા સ્તરે સમિતિઓની પણ આપણે રચના કરી છે. બંધારણના મૂળભૂત સિદ્ધાંતો એવા સામાજિક સૌહાર્દ, સમરસતા, બંધુત્વને સાકાર કરવામાં આ પ્રયોગ એક સફળ માધ્યમ બન્યો છે. આ કોન્ફરન્સમાં મીડિયેશન સાથોસાથ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીના સુસંગત ઉપયોગ પર પણ આપ સૌ તજજ્ઞો ચર્ચા મંથન કરવાના છો. ગુજરાતે ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીના ક્ષેત્રમાં પણ અગ્રેસરતા પ્રસ્થાપિત કરી છે, એનો મને ગૌરવ છે. દેશના વિકાસનું રોલ મોડેલ ગુજરાત જનસેવા પ્રકલ્પો, જનહિત કાર્યોમાં ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજી અને ઓનલાઈન પ્રક્રિયાના ઉપયોગ માટે પણ દેશમાં અવ્વલ રહીને આદરણીય પ્રધાનમંત્રીશ્રીના ડિજિટલ ઇન્ડિયાના સંકલ્પને પૂર્ણ કરે છે. રાજ્યના અંતરિયાળ વિસ્તારના લોકોને ઘર આંગણે સરકારની યોજનાના લાભ પહોંચાડવા ડિજિટલ સેવા સેતુ 14,000થી વધુ ગ્રામ પંચાયતને ભારત નેટ અન્વયે બ્રોડબેન્ડ કનેક્ટિવિટી, ઈ ધરા અને ઈ ગ્રામ વિશ્વગ્રામ પ્રોજેક્ટથી ગુજરાતમાં સામાન્યમાં સામાન્ય માનવી સુધી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીનો વ્યાપ વિસ્તાર્યો છે. ન્યાયતંત્રમાં ડિજિટલાઇઝેશન અને આઈટીનો ઉપયોગ વધુ પ્રમાણમાં કરવાની દિશા ગુજરાતે લીધી છે. કોરોનાની વૈશ્વિક મહામારી વચ્ચે પણ કોઈ ન્યાયથી વંચિત ન રહે તેવા સુપ્રીમ કોર્ટ અને હાઈકોર્ટના જનહિત અભિગમને રાજ્ય સરકારે વર્ચ્યુઅલ માધ્યમથી કોર્ટ કાર્યવાહીમાં સહયોગ આપ્યો છે. આ માટે જરૂરી સુવિધાઓ પણ રાજ્ય સરકારે અદાલતોને પૂરી પાડી છે. ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીનો ન્યાયપાલિકામાં મહત્તમ ઉપયોગ થાય તે માટે રેકર્ડ ડિજિટલાઇઝેશન કરવા અને વર્ચ્યુઅલ સુનાવણી દ્વારા પારદર્શિતા લાવવા જેવી બાબતોમાં રાજ્ય સરકારે ન્યાયતંત્રને સહયોગ આપ્યો છે. ગુજરાતની ન્યાયપાલિકાએ હાઈકોર્ટની કાર્યવાહીનું યુટ્યુબના માધ્યમથી લાઈવ ટેલિકાસ્ટ કરવાની દેશભરમાં પ્રથમ પહેલ કરી છે. વર્તમાન ન્યાયપાલિકામાં ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીના ઉત્તમ ઉપયોગની નવી દિશા આ પહેલે કંડારી છે. ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીના ઉપયોગથી જનસામાન્યને પણ અદાલતોમાં પેન્ડિંગ કેસ અને નિકાલ થયેલા કેસોની માહિતી પારદર્શી રીતે આપવાની એક સરાહનીય કામગીરી ગુજરાતે કરી છે. એટલું જ નહીં, ગુજરાતના મુખ્યમંત્રી શ્રી નરેન્દ્રભાઈ મોદી હતા ત્યારે લોક અદાલતો કાર્યબંધ કરીને કેસોના ઝડપી અને અસરકારક નિકાલ માટેની પહેલ પણ ગુજરાતે કરી છે. હું સ્પષ્ટપણે માનું છું કે ન્યાયપાલિકામાં ઇન્ફોર્મેશન ટેકનોલોજીના સમયોચિત ઉપયોગથી બેસ્ટ પ્રેક્ટિસિંગનું શેરિંગ અને નેશનલ કોન્ફરન્સમાં દિશાસૂચક બનશે. આ 2 દિવસ પરિષદમાં થનારું વિચાર મંથન અને વૈચારિક આદાન પ્રદાન આઝાદીના અમૃત વર્ષે દેશની ન્યાય પ્રણાલી માટે અમૃતકાળ બનશે એવો મને વિશ્વાસ છે. ફરી એકવાર આ નેશનલ કોન્ફરન્સમાં પધારેલા સૌનું ગુજરાતમાં સ્વાગત અને કોન્ફરન્સને સફળતાની શુભેચ્છાઓ પાઠવી વિરમું છું. જય જય ગરવી ગુજરાત, ભારત માતા કી જય, વંદે માતરમ.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय आपका, आपके विचारों की अभिव्यक्ति के लिए। लोकतंत्र की प्रहरी और संविधान की रक्षक भारतीय न्यायपालिका हमारे संविधान में संस्थापित मूल्यों की प्रतीक है। न्यायपालिका नागरिकों के लिए कानून का अर्थघटन, विवादों का समाधान तथा न्याय प्रदान करने के साथ ही अपने आदर्श वाक्य को भी सही अर्थ में चरितार्थ करती है, यतो धर्म ततो जयः। Today, we are honored to have with us Honorable Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramanna. Sir, we request you to kindly guide us with your thoughts.
Most respected President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovind, Sri Acharya Devvrat, Honorable Governor of Gujarat, Sri Bhupendra Bhai Patel, Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Kiran Rijiju, Honorable Union Minister for Law and Justice, my brother Justice L. Nageshwar Rao, Justice Abdul Nazir, Justice Amar Shah, Justice Vikram Nath, Madam Bela Trivedi, and Honorable Chief Justice of High Court of Gujarat, Sri Arvind Kumar, Rajendra Trivedi, Minister of State for Law and Justice, brother and sister judges of Gujarat High Court, Honorable Chief Justice of different High Courts and judges of the different High Courts, judicial officers, registrars of the Gujarat High Court, members of the bar and other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first visit to the state of Gujarat, and I am thrilled to be in the land of Mahatma Gandhi. This land has been a fertile ground for the national movement. Many great freedom fighters who shaped the destiny of the independent India were born here. Radhabai Nauroji, Vallabhbhai Patel, Vittalbhai Patel, Moraji Desai, Kasturba Gandhi, Vikram Sarabhai, Homi Baba were among those towering leaders. Apart from this land also given the distinction of the Chief Justice of India, first Chief Justice of India, Justice Hiralal Kanya. The state of Gujarat has a glorious legal history. Gujarat has been known for orderly dispute resolution. The Nyay Ni Devdi, Temple of Justice, is a fine example of this commitment to justice. Once a prominent court during the British Raj, it is now a district court in Vadodara. In 1960 was a historic year of the High Court and the state of Gujarat, as it marked the bifurcation of the state of Bombay. Since its formation, the High Court of Gujarat has become well known for the effective and efficient adjudication of disputes and the quality of justice dispensation. Standing before the Statue of Unity, it is appropriate to talk about conflict resolution by peaceful means. It is though the skills and leadership of Sardar Patel could make considerable progress in integrating the various princely states into the Union of India. It is in the spirit of conciliation that this conference on mediation and information technology is being organized. I would like to bring with the mythological story that I often refer to. It is the story of mediation undertaken by Lord Krishna to prevent the war of Kurukshetra. We all know the consequences of that failed mediation. Imagine how much destruction would have been avoided, how lives could have been saved, and how the kingdoms would have prospered if Lord Krishna had succeeded. Conflicts are inevitable aspects of our lives. Misunderstandings, ego issues, lack of trust, greedy can lead to conflicts. Even the big conflicts can be resolved through understanding. Conflicts have a human face. One must have the foresight to look beyond the conflict. A dispute should not spoil your relationship. A prolonged litigation can not only drain your resources but also cause animosity. It is not necessary that every conflict or difference of opinion must find its way to the courts. But these differences can be resolved in a neutral environment where both parties are a win-win situation. After all, life is a balancing act. In times of disagreements, one would usually start by initiating a dialogue to clarify issues. If this is also doesn't work, then the only option for people is to go to courts. Gujarat has always known for its merchants. Nobody understands it better than the merchants that time wasted is money lost. It is this realization that encouraged the merchants of Gujarat to be innovative in their dispute resolution process. In business, one has to think of an easy way of settling disputes without wasting much time or money or losing your peace of mind. In fact, an efficient businessman effectively deals with his disputes. In our country, due to obstacles in formal litigation, people hesitate to approach judicial forums. The concept of ADR through Lok Adalats, Gram Nyayalas, mediation, and arbitration centers has the potential to transform the legal landscape of India by providing millions of people a platform to settle their grievances. Imbibing effect of ADR mechanisms into the judicial process can reduce pendency, save judicial resources and time, and allow litigants to a degree of control over the dispute resolution process and its outcome. There are multiple benefits of adopting alternative methods of dispute resolution. Mediation and negotiation at the pre-litigation stage are one of the most empowering methods of resolving disputes as they maximize the participation of stakeholders. But since ADR is designed around the participatory model, its adoption is going to break the existing barrier. From the being an outsider to the process, citizens with their direct involvement will be insiders in the process. Mediation is also increasingly gaining prominence in the international commercial sphere. Private mediations, which take place at the pre-litigation stage, are also becoming more prevalent in the country. Most arbitration clauses in commercial contracts have a multi-tiered approach, where the first attempt to resolve the dispute between parties is through mediation or negotiation. Coming back to the issue of mediation, along with the increased awareness campaigns to educate the people, the role of courts assuming great importance in realizing the full potential of ADR. An active effort must be taken by courts to make negotiations and mediation mandatory as part of case management. Legal service authorities play an integral role in disposal of cases through ADR mechanisms, which include mediation as well as the Lok Adalat systems. But the success of any endeavor rests upon the stakeholders. Lawyers must pursue every possibility of pre-litigation settlement and advise clients to approach Lok Adalats for the greater benefit of the parties. Additionally, It is the responsibility of the parties who opt for this forum to commit and work towards the early resolution of their dispute. It should not be used as a mere delaying tactics. Lastly, judicial officers dispensing justice should not bring any adjudicatory flavor to the proceedings and must understand parties and their economic conditions with patience. We need skilled mediators to decide some significant issues during the process of mediation, particularly in a situation where settlement is fully going in favor of a particular party. What is the duty of a mediator if the settlement reached is patently unjust to the weaker party? Should the mediator be a silent spectator during such negotiations? These are just some of the questions which one must consider, particularly in a country like India with our diverse social fabric. The ideals of substantiative quality must be reflected in the resolution process as well. This conference is necessary to resolve these types of issues. With adequate cooperation from all stakeholders, it has the ability to emerge as a tool of social justice in India. Several states in India are currently coming to build a robust ADR-friendly environment. It is appropriate to reiterate the words of Mahatma Gandhi, who has once said, "The true function of a lawyer is to unite parties." Developing expertise in negotiation and mediation is much needed for new lawyers and law students. The skills involved are not only useful in the world of alternative dispute resolution, but are also vital for managing personal and professional relations in day-to-day life. The second aspect which needs our attention revolves around the information and technology and utility in law. I am reminded to quote from an English drama written by James Graham, "Money is fine, but data is power." These words are important for 21st century, wherein computing ability has increased by 1,000,000 times, while law regulates the same has not been able to catch up. The last 3 decades have seen a massive increase in processing power, the explosion of data, significant reduction in data management costs, and increased availability of sophisticated machinery and software. The rapid development of technology has resulted in increased complexity even within the legal and regulatory landscape of the country. For instance, technological developments such as the cryptocurrency, data protection, encryption, and artificial intelligence have caused courts and law enforcement agencies to engage with novel issues. With the passage of time, there is a possibility of increased litigation on the issues. At the same time, technology can be beneficially employed by the judicial system. Our profession is at the brink of technology revolution. The pandemic has helped to speed up this process. The traditional litigation model is sometimes criticized as being an extremely expensive process. Charles Dickens, in his book Bleak House, has commented on the number of legal papers generated in a dispute as, I quote, "mountains of costly nonsense." We see every day that tons of papers are filed before courts, especially in a big corporate litigation. They follow the old saying, "If you cannot convince the judge, confuse him." Technology has the potential to simplify this process. Courts in India have started utilizing technology. I don't want to take much time. The initiative taken by the Supreme Court in introducing different systems to speed up the justice system. The disruptive impact of the pandemic in some ways has led us to an area of transformation. These testing times have forced us to innovate. We all had to learn new technological skills and adopt new ways for the betterment of the society. During pandemic, India was the forefront in adopting technology to enable access to justice. To make the idea of access to justice is effective and user-centric, the need of the hour is to popularization of mediation across various platforms. Distance, money, and time are not longer barriers for parties. Online mediation has the ability to revolutionize the justice delivery system by promising simple and affordable justice for all. Before I conclude, I would like to place on record my sincerest thanks to the Honorable Rashtrapati Ji. He has served as a member of Rajya Sabha and as a governor before adorning the highest constitutional office. Irrespective of the office that he has held, his heart was always with the legal profession. I am grateful for his encouragement and guidance to the judiciary. I am fortunate to have enjoyed his goodwill and affection. His wisdom continues to guide us. I would like to thank the Honorable Governor Sri Acharya Devvrat and the Honorable Chief Minister Sri Bhupendra Rajnikant Patel for graciously facilitating this event. My dear friend Kiran Rijju, every day he is ready with new energies to attend such events. During his tenure, a good number of appointments to various high courts were made. I am expecting that he will clear many more soon. I would like to thank my brother and sister judges of the Supreme Court. Their presence and participation enriches the current discourse. Here, I must add, the High Court of Gujarat has added immense value to the Indian judiciary by sparing the services of Justice M.R. Shah, Justice Vikram Nath, Sister Bela Trivedi. Lastly, I would like to thank the Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Brother Justice Arvind Kumar, and brother and sister judges of the High Court for hosting this conference. Chief Justice Arvind Kumar hard work reflected in the scale and success of this conference. I hope the deliberations in this conference and its working sessions will help finding some solutions to the challenging issues. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Sir, Chief Justice of India, Shri Ramanaji, for sharing your vision and your motivational talk today. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely happy to have Honorable Governor Shri Acharya Devvrat ji with us today and request him to please kindly share his thoughts with us. Thank you.
ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतम गमय। ओम शांति। भारत के माननीय राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री N.V. रमन्ना जी, चीफ जस्टिस सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, आदरणीय श्री किरण रिजिजू जी, केंद्रीय कानून एवं न्याय मंत्री, आदरणीय श्री भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल जी, मुख्यमंत्री गुजरात, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री L. नागेश्वर राव जी, जज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री S. अब्दुल नजीर जी, जज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री M.R. शाह जी, जज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री विक्रम नाथ जी, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री वेला त्रिवेदी जी, आदरणीय जस्टिस श्री अरविंद कुमार जी, आदरणीय श्री राजेंद्र त्रिवेदी जी, उपस्थित सभी चीफ जस्टिस एवं उच्च न्यायालयों के न्यायमूर्ति, देवी और सज्जनों, आज गुजरात की धरती पे स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी, जो भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का बहुत बड़ा विजन था, सोच थी कि जिस लौह पुरुष सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने आज़ादी के बाद बिखरे भारत देश को एकता के सूत्र में बांधने का भागीरथ प्रयास ही नहीं किया, अपितु इस देश को एक नई दिशा दी। यह स्थल आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए और हम सब के लिए इस देश की एकता अखंडता के लिए प्रेरणा का स्रोत बना है। और ऐसे स्थल पर आप सब न्यायमूर्तियों की यह कॉन्फ्रेंस निश्चित रूप से बहुत सफल और प्रेरणादायी रहेगी। इस स्थल के चुनने के लिए मैं प्रदेश के चीफ जस्टिस आदरणीय श्री अरविंद कुमार जी को, प्रदेश सरकार को बधाई देता हूं और आप सभी पूरे भारतवर्ष से इस धरा पे आए और सपत्नीक आए हैं, मैं सभी अपनी बहनों का भी अभिनंदन करता हूं और आप सबका भी स्वागत करता हूं। आदरणीयों, भारत के लोकतंत्र के लिए 3 विधा सबसे अधिक महत्वपूर्ण हैं: संसद, सरकार और न्यायपालिका। जब इनका आपसी तालमेल, जैसे ऋग्वेद के मंत्र की चर्चा अभी आदरणीय जस्टिस अरविंद कुमार जी ने कही, संगच्छध्वम संवदध्वम संवो मनांसी जानताम देवा भागम यथा पूर्वे संजानान उपासते। हमें वेद उपदेश करता कि हे मनुष्यों, तुम अपने सुंदर राष्ट्र की व्यवस्था कैसे करो। तुम्हारा आपसी जो व्यवस्था में लोग हैं, सरकार में लोग हैं, न्यायपालिका में लोग हैं, उनका तालमेल आपस में इतना सुलभ और सुंदर हो। और वो तालमेल कैसा हो? समानी प्रपा सवो न भागा समाने योक्त्रे सहवो युनज में। वो तालमेल ऐसे हो जैसे रथ के नाभि स्थल पर कमानियां जुड़ी होती हैं। आप और हम सब ने देखा है, रथ जब चलता तो उसमें कमानियां हैं। एक कमानी पर दूसरी है, दूसरी पर तीसरी है, तीसरी पर चौथी है। और जब पहली पर वजन पड़ता तो दूसरी संभालती है, और दूसरी पर पड़ता तो तीसरी संभालती है, और तीसरी पर पड़ता तो चौथी संभालती है। और जब वो सारी जुड़ जाती हैं तो रथ पर चाहे कितना भी वजन हो, वो उसे गंतव्य स्थल पर ले जाने में समर्थ हो जाता है। राष्ट्र चाहे किन्हीं विपरीत परिस्थितियों में हो, कितने संकट के काल में हो, लेकिन जब एक सूत्र में बंद करके सरकार और न्यायपालिका मन की एकता और पवित्रता के साथ जुड़कर काम करती है, तो उस राष्ट्र के विकास और उन्नति को कोई रोक नहीं सकता। आदरणीयों, इस समय भारत के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमान नरेंद्र मोदी जी भारत का सर्वांगीण विकास करते हुए इस देश को आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। और इस समय विश्व की जो परिस्थितियां हैं वो मेरे और सामने हैं, आपके सामने। हमारे पड़ोस में जो कुछ हो रहा है वो भी मेरे आपके सामने है। ऐसी स्थिति में भारत का आत्मनिर्भर होना, उसका स्वावलंबी होना और एकता के सूत्र में बंद करके लौह पुरुष सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल की तरह एकजुट होना कितना आवश्यक है, इस बात को हम सबको समझने की आवश्यकता है। आज ये देश किस प्रकार की परिस्थितियों से गुजर रहा है, ऐसे में जो राष्ट्र आपस में संगठित होता है वो निश्चित रूप से हर बाधाओं को पार करते हुए लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति कर लेता है। न्यायपालिका एक ऐसी संस्था है देश में जो सबके विश्वास का केंद्र हो, सबकी श्रद्धा का केंद्र हो, सबकी आस्था का केंद्र हो। और यही वो संस्था है, जब व्यक्ति कोई रास्ता नहीं अपने अनुकूल पाता तो आप लोगों की ही शरण में आता है। और वहां शास्त्रों में लिखा है कि जो न्याय करता है उसका प्रजा के प्रति क्या भाव हो, ये भी हमारे वेदों में लिखा है। यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मेवनुपश्यति यत् सर्वभूतेषु च आत्मानं ततो न विचिकित्सति। अर्थात एक जो दुखियारा हमारी शरण में आता है, न्याय पाने के लिए आता है, तो न्यायकर्ता का भाव उसके प्रति क्या हो, न्याय वो कब सही दे पाएगा, ये वेद में लिखा है। और कहता हूं न्याय तब दे पाएगा जब वो अपनी आत्मा को उस अगले की आत्मा में देखने की योग्यता रखता हो। और उसकी आत्मा को अपने में देखने का भाव रखता हो। जब ये सोच होगी तो वो संदेह से ऊपर उठ करके एक न्याय का मार्ग प्रशस्त होगा, संदेह की दीवार गिरेगी और निश्चित रूप से हम एक न्याय की प्रक्रिया को देकर एक सुंदर समाज की रचना करने में समर्थ होंगे। हमारे यहाँ लिखा है अवश्यमेव भोक्तव्यम कृतम कर्म शुभाशुभम, कि न्याय देने वाले के सामने दो प्रकार के लोग होते हैं, एक धर्मात्मा होता है, एक अन्यायी होता है। हमने अपनी न्याय व्यवस्था इतनी पारदर्शिता के आगे बढ़ानी चाहिए कि अपराधी बचने न पाए और धर्मात्मा दुखी ना होने पाए। ऐसी भारतीय शास्त्रों में व्यवस्था दी गई है। ये आसन विक्रमादित्य का आश्रम, जिसके राज में कहते हैं कोई अन्याय नहीं होता था, अन्यायी बच नहीं पाता था और जो धर्मात्मा था वो दुखी नहीं हो पाता था। ऐसी सोच के साथ जब हम प्रजा की सेवा में समर्पित होकर के काम करते हैं तो राष्ट्र गतिशील होता है, उन्नति करता है, प्रगति करता है, विकास के रास्ते पर चलता है, लोगों में विश्वास पैदा होता है, श्रद्धास्था पैदा होती है। ऐसी परिस्थितियां मैं समझता हूं कि भारत के लोकतंत्र में आज तक न्यायपालिका ने अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को समय समय पर मजबूती से निभाने का कार्य किया है। अब पिछले दिनों चाहे कोरोना काल में देश संकट की घड़ी से गुजर रहा था, हमारी न्यायपालिका ने समय समय पर संज्ञान लेते हुए इस देश के इस संकट काल को निकालने में जो योगदान दिया वो सराहनीय है। समय समय पर जब भी संकट की घड़ी आई, भारत की न्याय व्यवस्था ने राष्ट्र के हित के लिए वही निर्णय लिए जो अपना देश विकास और प्रगति के रास्ते पर बढ़ता चला जाए। तो आज अंत में समय अभाव में इतना ही निवेदन कि मुझे आप जैसे विद्वान न्यायाधीशों में आज सहभागी होने का सौभाग्य मिला। हम सब मिलकर इस राष्ट्र को, जिसका हम अन्न खाते हैं, जल पीते हैं, हवा लेते हैं, अन्न खाते हैं, जीवन जीते हैं, हमारे लिए इससे बड़ा कुछ भी नहीं है। राष्ट्र है तो हम हैं, इसकी एकता के लिए, अखंडता के लिए, प्रगति उन्नति के लिए, प्रजाजनों के सुख के लिए हम उस न्याय व्यवस्था को पैदा करें, सरकारें उस व्यवस्था को पैदा करें जिससे सब मिलकर सुख और आनंद के साथ अपने आनंद के गंतव्य स्थल की ओर बढ़ते जाएं। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ सबका धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय, आपका इन प्रेरणादायी उद्बोधन के लिए। घनी आबादी, सांस्कृतिक परंपराओं की विविधता तथा प्राकृतिक व भौगोलिक चुनौतियों के बावजूद सत्यमेव जयते इस पुनीत मंत्र के साथ देश के नागरिकों को संविधान के आधारभूत जीवन मूल्यों से जुड़े रहने की अविरत प्रेरणा देने वाले और विश्व के सबसे बड़े और जीवंत लोकतंत्र ऐसे भारत के प्रथम नागरिक परम सम्माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय जी आज हमारे बीच उपस्थित है, ये हमारे लिए परम सौभाग्य का विषय है। हम विनम्रता पूर्वक आमंत्रित करते हैं मान्यवर आपको अपने प्रेरणादायी विचारों से हमारा पथ प्रदर्शित करने के लिए। माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय श्रीमान रामनाथ कोविंद जी।
गवर्नर ऑफ गुजरात श्री आचार्य देवव्रत जी, चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया श्री जस्टिस एन.वी. रमना जी, यूनियन मिनिस्टर फॉर लॉ एंड जस्टिस श्री किरण रिजिजू जी, चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ गुजरात श्री भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल जी, जजेस ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया श्री जस्टिस एल नागेश्वर राव जी, श्री जस्टिस एस अब्दुल नज़ीर जी, श्री जस्टिस M.R. Shah ji, Sri Justice Vikramnath ji, and Madam Justice Bela Trivedi ji, Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Sri Justice Arvind Kumar ji, Minister for Revenue, Disaster Management, Law and Justice, Legislative and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of Gujarat, Sri Rajendra Trivedi ji, Chief Justices and judges of other high courts participating in this conference, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be among you here today when you are going to deliberate on two highly significant topics that are crucial in the functioning of the judiciary. Equally, I am glad that this deliberation is going to take place at a site that commemorates the life and work of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, one of the greatest sons of India. Whenever I have visited the Statue of Unity, I feel the vibes of Sardar Patel's indomitable spirit of service to the nation. The objective of this All India Judicial Conference is to facilitate a series of brainstorming sessions in which the Chief Justices and the concerned committee judges of all the high courts are participating. In other words, we have the best and the highest of the decision-making authorities from the justice delivery system of the country. The topics are alternative dispute resolution, that is ADR, mechanism and the role of information and communication technology, or ICT, in the judiciary. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, during my earlier career, I had been associated with legal profession before turning to social service full-time. I used to practice at the Delhi High Court and later at the Supreme Court. And during those years, one of the issues that occupied my mind was access to justice. The word justice encompasses a lot, and it has rightly been stressed in the preamble of our Constitution. But do all people have equal access to justice? I wondered how access to justice can be improved for all. It has remained one of the issues close to my heart. I therefore find the topics for the conference very carefully chosen. Both the ADR mechanism and the ICT in the judiciary are important for many reasons. But to my mind, they are important as they will help make the system more efficient and thus better able to dispense justice. For effective dispute resolution that is also litigant friendly, the ADR system has been introduced in the form of legislation by insertion of Section 89 in Code of Civil Procedure. ADR has many modes, including arbitration, mediation, conciliation, and negotiation, lok adalat, and judicial settlement. Mediation, in particular, is quite important. During the last 2 decades, all stakeholders have recognized mediation as an effective tool for dispute resolution and encouraged it. As several legal luminaries have observed, most of the cases pending in the courts between individuals in respect to civil rights are such that they do not need adjudication. The parties in such cases can redress their dispute amicably through a structured intervention of mediators. Ladies and gentlemen, mediation aims to settle the dispute not by any command or authority. Rather, it encourages the parties to arrive at a settlement by systematic mediation sittings by the mediator. The legislation also provides an incentive. If any pending litigation is settled by mediation, the entire court fees deposited by the litigant party are refunded. Thus, truly speaking, in mediation, everyone is a winner. Having said that, one has to admit that the concept is yet to find widespread acceptance across the country. Not enough trained mediators are available in some places. Infrastructural facilities at many mediation centers badly need upgradation. These bottlenecks have to be addressed at the earliest to help a wider population benefit from this effective tool. Ladies and gentlemen, moreover, all stakeholders should display a positive attitude towards mediation if we want to achieve desired results. In this regard, training can make a lot of difference. It can be provided at different levels, from introductory courses at the induction stage to refresher courses for mid-career professionals. The Mediator and Conciliation Project Committee of the Supreme Court has been doing a great job by organizing training programs in the states. If there had been any misconception among lawyers that mediation could be a threat to their profession, the last couple of decades must have convinced them that it is not. If anything, it is an additional feature in their skills and expertise. Successful mediation not only provides a high amount of recognition to the lawyer, but it also gives great job satisfaction. They can also take inspiration from the father of our nation. In South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi had a highly successful career, but he preferred the way of mediation above all. The first time he succeeded in bringing two parties to resolve their dispute, he felt, in his own words, he said, boundless joy. He wrote, and I quote, I had learned the true practice of law. I had learned to find out the better side of human nature and to enter men's hearts. I realized that the true function of a lawyer was to unite parties riven asunder. The lesson was so indelibly burnt into me that a large part of my time during the 20 years of my practice as a lawyer was occupied in bringing about private compromises of hundreds of cases. I lost nothing thereby, not even money, certainly not my soul. Unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have passed through a very difficult crisis. The pandemic is not yet over, but hopefully we are beginning to have a glimpse of its end. Amid unprecedented human misery during the last 2 years or so, if there was a saving grace, it was from information and communication technology. ICT proved most helpful in maintaining essential activities and in keeping the wheels of the economy moving. Like remote working, remote learning helped avoid a break in education. In a way, the crisis has proved to be an opportunity for the digital revolution. The momentum has increased for the adoption of ICT to make public service delivery more efficient. At the peak of the crisis, we too had continued various functions at the Rashtrapati Bhavan with the support of technology. Dispensation of justice, too, was made possible with virtual hearings when physical gatherings had to be avoided. Ladies and gentlemen, even before the pandemic, the justice delivery system had benefited from the ICT to improve the quantity and quality of the services delivered to litigants and all stakeholders. Under the leadership of the E-Committee formed in the Supreme Court and with the active assistance and resource support of the Department of Justice of the Government of India, two phases of the E-Courts project have been accomplished as per the policy and action plan approved and adopted for the respective phases. As a result, there is a smooth access to the statistics as published on the portal of the e-courts. Thanks to the National Judicial Data Grid, a citizen can easily learn about the pendency and areas of cases with details of year-wise pending and the oldest pending cases before the respective courts. In the similar manner, the computerization of courts has delivered immense benefits for each of the stakeholders. Several courts have made notable innovative advancements in using ICT to improve access to justice and its delivery. A number of high courts have started live streaming of court proceedings of their benches. I understand the Gujarat High Court has been the pioneer in this. Ladies and gentlemen, as with other public institutions, the judiciary too must have been facing several issues in shifting to the digital world. These are broadly known as change management, and they are part of the transformation. Those are the kind of issues the worthy members of the judiciary will be discussing over these 2 days. I gather there is a full working session devoted to the subject of future of technology in the judiciary. I would add that among many objectives of the switch to ICT, the topmost has to be the improvement of access to justice. What we are aiming at is not change for sake of change, but change for the sake of a better world. I am sure that this national conference will deliberate upon not only the great potential of both mediation and ICT in courts, but also how best to respond to the challenges along the way. I congratulate the Chief Justice of the High Court of Gujarat and his colleagues and inspiring you to always keep the nation, its citizens, and their interests in mind. My best wishes to you for fruitful deliberations. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, Honorable President, for your valuable advice, your key words and guidance, and of course for blessing this occasion by your magnanimous presence. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this is a start towards a new beginning. इस विचार के साथ अब इस कार्यक्रम के अंत में हम धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे हर उस व्यक्ति का जिसने इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजन करने में अपना सर्वस्व दिया। आपका दिन मंगलमय हो। नमस्कार। थैंक यू। वंदे मातरम।